Imagine two friends, both 25 years old, standing at the exact same financial starting line. They both earn $60,000 a year, and they both have saved up a $50,000 nest egg. But today, their paths split forever. This is a 30-year mathematical simulation of renting forever versus buying a house. We are tracking every single dollar to see who actually achieves financial freedom and who falls into a trap. Meet Alex and Sarah. Alex decides to rent a modern apartment for $1,500 a month. Sarah decides to use her $50,000 as a down payment and closing costs for a $400,000 home. Everyone tells Sarah she is building equity, while telling Alex he is just throwing his money away. But is that actually true? Let's look at the hidden math that your real estate agent never mentions. Sarah's 30-year fixed mortgage at 6% looks manageable on paper. Her baseline monthly payment is roughly $1,900. But a house is never just a mortgage. Sarah immediately runs into the unrecoverable costs of homeownership: property taxes, homeowners insurance, and the ultimate wealth killer: maintenance. In the financial world, we call this the 1% rule. You must spend at least 1% of the home's value every single year just to keep it from falling apart. That is an extra $4,000 a year, or $333 every single month, gone forever. Meanwhile, Alex pays his $1,500 in rent. His landlord handles the leaky roof and the broken water heater. Because Alex's living expenses are significantly lower than Sarah's total housing costs, he has a monthly surplus of $733. Alex does not spend this money on vacations or luxury cars. To avoid lifestyle creep, he automatically automates this surplus straight into a low-cost index fund tracking the broader stock market. He is actively building an investment portfolio, turning his cash into a compounding machine. Fast forward 5 years. Alex and Sarah are now 30 years old. Sarah feels wealthy because her property value has ticked up slightly. However, she has spent the last 60 months paying down mostly interest, barely scratching the principal balance of her loan. On top of that, inflation has driven up her property taxes and insurance premiums. Alex, on the other hand, faces a different hurdle. His rent has increased by 3% annually. But his stock portfolio has been quietly compounding at an average annual return of 8%. Alex's net worth is growing rapidly in liquid assets, while Sarah's wealth is entirely trapped in brick and mortar. Let's hit year 10. Our characters are now 35. Sarah's home requires its first major cosmetic refresh and appliance replacements. She has to dig deep into her savings, experiencing what economists call being house poor. Her monthly cash flow is tight. Across town, Alex's rent is now higher, eating into his monthly savings rate. Yet, the sheer power of compound interest on his 10-year-old stock portfolio is doing the heavy lifting. The returns generated by his investments are now starting to outpace his own monthly contributions. By year 15, at age 40, the gap widens. Sarah's home equity is finally rising faster as her mortgage payments shift slightly more toward principal. But she faces a massive realization. She has paid nearly $200,000 in pure interest to the bank, money that is completely unrecoverable. Alex is now 40, and his index fund is snowballing. The stock market's historical resilience has turned his small, consistent monthly contributions into a massive 6-figure financial cushion. He enjoys absolute liquidity. If he needs cash, he can sell his shares in seconds. Sarah cannot sell a single brick of her kitchen to pay an emergency bill. Let's skip ahead to year 25. Our characters are now 50 years old. Subtle signs of time show on their faces, and their financial trajectories have completely diverged. Sarah has spent 25 years maintaining a large property. Her neighborhood has appreciated, but so have her annual tax bills. Alex is 50, still renting, and his portfolio is now crossing massive milestones. Because he stayed disciplined and reinvested every single dividend, his stock market wealth is generating passive income that completely covers a significant portion of his annual rent. Finally, we reach year 30. The simulation concludes. Alex and Sarah are now 55 years old. Sarah walks into the bank and makes her final mortgage payment. She throws a party. She owns her home free and clear. Her $400,000 home is now worth $950,000 due to steady real estate appreciation. She has a massive asset, but she has no liquidity, and her property taxes and maintenance costs will never drop to zero. She still has to pay to live in her own home. Now let's look at Alex at age 55. He has paid rent every month for 360 months. He owns zero real estate. But remember that $733 monthly surplus he consistently invested alongside his initial $50,000 nest egg? Thanks to the uninterrupted magic of compound interest compounding at 8% annually over 3 decades, Alex's investment portfolio is now worth a staggering $1.4 million. Let's look at the final net worth showdown. Sarah owns a house worth $950,000 but has minimal cash. Alex owns a liquid stock portfolio worth $1.4 million. Even when you subtract the total rent Alex paid over 30 years, his liquid wealth gives him an undeniable advantage in flexibility and pure purchasing power. The math reveals a shocking truth. Renting is not throwing money away if you disciplinedly invest the difference. Buying a home is a fantastic forced savings plan and offers unmatched emotional stability. But as a pure wealth-building vehicle, it often loses to the stock market due to the massive, hidden, unrecoverable costs of interest, taxes, and maintenance. Financial freedom is not about a deed to a house. It is about the velocity and efficiency of your capital. So, before you sign that 30-year mortgage, ask yourself, are you buying an asset, or are you just buying a very expensive forced savings account? The simulation proves that true wealth belongs to the disciplined investor.